Hello, it's Erica of Herbal Arts, and we're here for Sunday demo, which was going to be bat making, but bat making requires a lot of me moving stuff around, and so I'm still in the middle of sorting stash. I've got I've got four more to go. One set up, so that's like that one's I've started on. I found the other purple tub, but I just decided I did the knitting instead. So I can show off my cowl. It's meant to be more of a gator-like cowl since it's going to be January in the Arctic, instead of all these long, droopy ones. So we're getting near the end. This is all I have left for fiber. It looks like it's going to take me into that sort of gold color. I may stop before that gold color because that gold color is not a flattering color on me. I like the rust and the brown, right? So, and I also just went and looked up the bind off that I will use because I'd forgotten how to do it because I haven't knitted this way in a while. I did a cable cast on, so I'm going to do a cable cast off. So I'm not sure how much you can see the pattern, right? So it's a diagonal rib, knit 3, purl 3, and then each time I come to another round, I shift it. Well, actually, I don't really have to shift it anymore because it sort of does it on its own. Okay, so I always leave off on the purl side. So the needles are a little slippery, and my hands need a little more hand cream. So we're going to start off with I'm a continental knitter, but I don't do all the hooking around the fingers. It's just has never been my thing. So 1, 2, just double checking that I don't have 2 together because that occasionally happens. I've noticed with this because it's fuzzy yarn and sometimes they end up overlapping each other. Nope. So 1, 2, 3. So that gets me my 3 knit, and I can. Unfortunately, the stitches are big enough that I can go back and see. These are V's. These have the crosses. You can see them right there to denote purl stitches. And then I just keep doing it again and again and again. So what you probably can see a little bit over this shoulder is part of the pile of yarn I am going to destash. 2, 3. I may actually, I don't know if anybody would be interested in them. I can always put it on the page or in the group. By the way, if you haven't found the group yet, I think I've got the security questions on. Several people I know got an invite because it seemed to take part of my follower list and invite people. But most of it's acrylic. Okay, that's all I want to. I got a lot of it from Hancock Fibers when they went out of business many years ago, and then some of it might be from Webb's or various other places. Hello from Illinois. What's sort of weird is, so these are US 13, which makes them they're a little hard on my hands. They're just, also the contrast between how thick the needle is and how thin the cable is. Sometimes I have trouble getting it, sort of smushing it up on this side. I'm silently counting in my head 1, 2, 3, so that I can flip it over and go 1, 2, 3 again. Yeah, and I have a lot of orange, which I think is partially because the college I used to work at is their colors were orange and black, and so I had a lot of orange. So this is a cowl that I started yesterday, and I'm almost done. And this is to take with me, and it's meant, as I said, to be closer to the neck. It's not one of these big droopy ones. But this is sort of the color of the wardrobe that's going with me on the cruise. And since the cruise will be in January and in the Arctic Circle, I decided I needed an indoor cowl. I have an outdoor cowl. I don't do scarves. Excuse me, for this type of thing because I'd lose it, right? You can't. It's harder to lose a cowl unless you've taken it off, right? Where a scarf can, untie itself or blow away in the wind. Where, unless your head comes off, the cowl is not coming off. So yes, I have been most of the day getting these totes. I don't know if they're 18-gallon totes. I can't remember how big they are. They're smaller than the ones I normally keep my fiber in. And I've been bringing them out to the second landing, which is down there. And I unload them out onto the stairs, and I sort of match up, because everything's in there sort of loose, unless it's like a pre-bought package, or I bought something from Knit Picks, and there's 8 balls in a container that held a bag that held 8, 10, or whatever. So I can see what I have, and then all the singletons go in sort of by themselves, but anything I have 2 or more of get bagged together. So I actually know that I have like 3 of that particular skein available. And then of course the lighting is not the best there, so I'm always like, okay, what color is this really? Because I color code. And sometimes it's hard, like, is this really purple or is it really more in the red, right? Is this, sometimes the greens and blues are hard. I've decided turquoise goes in with blues because I don't have a lot of blues, and so turquoise goes with blues instead of greens. But then these things, what if you get a skein that's green and blue, right? Because it's variegated, because I like variegated. And figuring out where all that's going. I have a multicolored pile. There is a multicolored bin somewhere. I think it's one of the ones I haven't gotten to yet. So 1, 2, 3. So the ones I'm working now are the ones that actually serve as Heloise's perch. They're stacked in front of the window and she sits on top of it. And so, I try and clean it when I can, but those are a little more, a little more messy. So I gotta clean those. And I have 4, I think, 4 or 5. I also found a tote of fiber, but hang on, let me just make sure. By saying the word not 5, I did not knit 5. Let us just check. 2, 3. What are you? Are you a knit? Let's find out. Are you a pearl? You're a pearl. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Ooh. 3. Okay, good. Anyway, so I know I have a tub of variegated somewhere, but I'm trying to, like, the ones that I have 4 of these tubs that are slightly smaller. They're a different brand, and so and a different color, and so I'm trying to make sure the small, the things I have the smallest amount of go in those. There's going to have to be 2 purple tubs. That's just the way it is. The one will be most, purple that has also pink, I think, is also going to be there. So, but I'm getting rid of most of my acrylic. I'm sure someone will use it. It's just, I don't really have much need for it. And I don't knit enough to be using acrylic to, be making baby blankets or whatever. Because I don't make baby blankets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hang on. See, I get talking and then I forget. 3. Okay. Just double checking that. Oh, hang on. That's a knit. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. So yeah, so I had to, are you familiar with the cable cast on and cast off, or bind off? I really like the way, let me just finish these one. So that's what I used on this. So I purposely, this yarn said was for 10 or 11. I went up to a 13 because that's the one I had. Let's see if we can show you the cast on. It's just, I like it. It's a nice, slightly cleaner cast on than the one I learned traditionally. And it's just a variation on, the one where you go and then you go into the next one and you just sort of build it. Where instead of going through the loop when you increase, you actually go in a space between the most newly created loop and the one before it. And then you sort of create like that. It's a great cast on for when you have to increase the stitches, like say you're going to start adding an arm or something, if you're doing like a flat pattern. And so it's a way to sort of add on those stitches. But, okay. So I just did pearls. So let's go back to knits. So 3 more of these. Yeah, and I didn't have any giant stitch markers, so I just have a piece of string there to mark those. But anyway, so Heloise is probably going to be upset with me because since I have removed her perch, she's currently sleeping on my pillow, which is perfectly fine. I don't mind that she does that. But also it's going to give me a chance to clean up the area around her perch because, she got long hair, she sheds. Occasionally she's still got some litter caught to her. Cats are. It's also right in front of the radiator, so it'll let me get in there and because it's pretty warm today. It's supposed to be 53 today, so I got the heat off, which gives me a chance to clean in and around the radiators. But my landing is quite filled with the tubs. Because what I'm finding is I'm occasionally coming across a random skein that obviously just got shoved in a tote, and so I have to get it in the right tote, so I'm not putting any of the totes back. After I finish the purple one I just got out, I have one that's easily accessible in a closet that is, it's all like dish rag cotton type stuff. Peaches and cream, that kind of thing. Which I may do tonight, I may not. I'm not sure about that one. But I should go through and make sure it's just the cotton. But the remaining 2 are sort of tucked way in the back behind the looms. And so I haven't figured out how to safely get those out without hurting myself. Now, one of my looms is going to get warped up tomorrow. So I just did 3 pearls. Oh, no, that is not ready to come off yet. Need to do, so I'm right at the point. So I got to do 1 here, 1 knit. Then I can move the marker, 2 knit, and 3 knit. So on Thursday, my town has what they call Christmas Greetings on Main. And so there is live windows at most of the stores on the main street. Of course, the bridge is out, but it's on both sides of the main street. And it's nonprofits, local schools, things from the groups from the college, who do live window displays. So if it's the wind ensemble from the college, they're not all going to be there, but there will be, there'll be some people there. They'll be playing music, and obviously Christmas music and stuff like that. There's lots of sort of opening stockings and acting going on, Santa's workshop things. A couple years ago, my guild had a very large window. That one, however, has been snapped up by the United Way ever since. They obviously saw how cool our display was and said, "Oh, we want that window." So we haven't actually gone back there. We didn't do it last year, but they asked us to do it again this year because my guild is not in my town; it's in the city to the south, and so we're not like a Waverly organization, but we have members from Waverly in the organization because we're for the region, and so they've essentially given us the boutique right below me. Sort of go a couple of yards that way, and I'll be and down one floor, and so there's only room for 2 of us. So we're gonna have 1 spinner and 1 weaver. And our past president just said, "I will be the spinner," because she has this cute little Hungarian wheel. I don't know if it's going to work because it's kind of small, and it's one of those windows. We're not like an elevated, like people have like those elevated display areas. This one doesn't. So we're going to be sitting on the regular floor, right, on chairs. So people can look in, but only like the front row will be able to see her really cool, tiny Hungarian painted spinning wheel. But it is very green and red, so it will work. And she wanted to get all this elaborate ears and stuff like that. I'm like, we're going to be there as the guild. We're not going to be there as Santa's elves. We're just like, maybe the joy of heritage craft, the joy of fiber arts. Mainly, we're not there to sell anything. We're there to essentially make people aware that we exist. Also, that we're having a sale the next day, and all of that. So I will be the weaver, but I don't have anything warped up right now. And so the past president said, "Oh, well, if you originally we were thinking of using the Erica looms. Since she and I both have the same loom, she was thinking she could warp hers up and then use my stand because we don't have room for a table. But then she'd sort of take it away. I'm like, why don't we just warp up something of mine? Both of my small looms have stands. Originally, I thought the Erica, but that's a 4 harness. It's a little more complex. Let's just do the rigid heddle. It's a little bit wider because my Erica is 12-inch. My samplet really needs a name. Samplet's 16 inches. And also, a rigid heddle is a lot faster to warp than a 4 harness. So I'm thinking, I've been pulling, as I'm going through these tubs, I'm thinking about like, what do I want to do? Do I want to do a scarf? Do I want to do towels? So I really would like to try some towels. I've come across a bunch of cotton linen, cotton linen blend, but it's very fine. So it might take me a while. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I have to decide tonight because I have to know what to bring with me to the guild. I also have to find the reeds for that particular loom. I have them. I think I have all the sizes for the reeds. I just don't know where they are. I think they're actually in the rigid heddle box, but can I remember where I put the rigid heddle box is the next question. Okay, well, we're going to end in a minute, but I just want to show off how happy I am with this particular cowl, and I had a chance to work on it today. So I was working on it last night. That's going to work out quite nice. In fact, I thought it's going to be big enough to put across my head. So as long as I take the glasses off. And because I'm using the larger needles, it's going to be a bit lacy, which will be fine. And I like the way the pattern shows up. Okay, so that's it for today. Sorry, no bat making, but that's just sort of the way it is. And I hope you have a really great week, and I will see you around on Facebook And as soon as the slow connection sign moves, I can hit finish. So take care.